morning and welcome to this inspiring morning with so many ideas and flows and events already happened this morning. So I'm very excited.
Look at the beautiful day. We've got so many opportunities and possibilities. It's there for us. Just go and get it. Go and grab it.
Absolutely. And when I just read the first sentence, that is just so beautiful. So let's start with this very sentence at the beginning and let's make this our mantra for today.
Exactly.
We all want an enduring and irrevocable prosperity.
Yes.
Let's just own that for a minute. Yes, I want an enduring and irrevocable prosperity. So I'm not sure if we need to do any more reading right now. Because I'm good with that.
We just keep repeating it. We all want an enduring and irrevocable prosperity. We do. Yes.
We deserve an enduring and irrevocable prosperity. We accept an enduring and irrevocable prosperity. We receive enduring and irrevocable prosperity. And so it is.
Look at the rest of it. This kind of prosperity comes only through wisdom and understanding. And that's exactly it. Nadine, we need to remember that we need to remind ourselves every day, just like going to the gym, just like, eating healthy, looking at living a prosperous and, enduring life, you need to work at it. And that's the wisdom and understanding. So start understanding and start noticing, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and change it to prosperity.
Right. And when it says also the wisdom and understanding, so it's the wisdom of prosperity. And isn't this exactly what we're reading in You Too Can Be Prosperous by Robert Russell? So that is the wisdom and the understanding. And everything we've covered over all these weeks is this wisdom and understanding. And I could also stop right here because that is your only thing to concentrate on when you want prosperity, to understand what prosperity is, to accept it, to invite it, to go for it, and to just think prosperity the way we explained it in all the other chapters.
Love it. Yeah. So it is not enough to affirm the truth. Our understanding must carry with it an acceptance and a conviction. And that's J. Lowry Fendrick Jr. says, we cannot live the law by knowing it. We live the law by living it.
That's so amazing.
Exactly. It's so profoundly as to be unable to escape a conviction of its eternal operation.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
So we activate prosperity in the same way that we activate health and power. I read on previously. And that is by the law of consciousness. Faith is the power of conviction. It is the power to know, to create, to formulate, and to achieve. The law of the Lord is perfect. How can we account for so many failures? In the same way that we account for so many successes. Both represent subjective trends in our thought. When a man admits that he is a failure, he must also admit that he is the maker of failure. Since there is no failure in the divine plan, failure is always self-made. The universe is overflowing with abundance, but each man must fulfill his own destiny. That is so beautiful.
Yes, yes. And so this activation is also, here is another fresh example, because we're kind of in a situation we want to move into a bigger apartment or house, but then we know that most probably in another 1 or 2 years we want to move to Canada. And so there's a lot of options currently in my head, in my hand, and I was getting anxious and confused, like, oh, we have to make a decision. Shall we take this apartment just to move out the office, or shall we move into this house, but this is over the budget we set for the next 2 years, because we have to have some money to buy a house in Canada, right? So so all these questions, and I was getting yesterday really anxious, and then I was like, no, one moment. When is the date when I want to move? And that is August 1st. So there is plenty of time until August 1st. First of all, I don't have to make a decision right now. And then I went ahead and sent a list to the universe with all the things we want right now for this coming 2 years. And so it would also mean to preferably stay in the village we are right now. Yeah. And so it feels so much better. So I made that order to the universe. And then the thing of faith is like, I just have to put my faith. So the fact that I cannot see yet which is going to be the house, there is no ad for it right now. I just put my faith that in divine time, the right house will show up in my hand in one way or another, and it will be perfect and it will be ours. So I'm releasing that to the universe, and I'm not stressing myself about anything else. And there we go. That's living it. That's not teaching it and reading it. That's living it.
Beautiful example, Nadine, and it's so true. And guess what? We'll be sitting here on the 1st of August and we'll say, look at what you achieved, you know?
Right now, when you were reading, I was like, am I going to say this out loud? Now people will ask me, where is the house? Do you really do this? And then I was like, if I don't, there is a lack of faith.
Yeah.
But since I do have faith in the process, I'll put it out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll read a couple more lines here. Emerson said, men suffer all their life long under the foolish superstition that they can be cheated. But it is impossible for a man to be cheated by anyone but himself, as for a thing to be and not to be at the same time. So what he's saying there is, we often blame other people. We often point fingers. But what we need to really realize is that our intuition probably told us to be aware of something, and we went with our brain instead of our intuition, and that's when we get cheated. That's when people take advantage of us. When actually in your heart of hearts that something is wrong, listen to your intuition.
And the word being cheated is just a perception. So what is the cause? How else could you look at it? What is your role in it, and how else could you see it? Maybe it's just a very good opportunity to move on, or to be honest, or it's very, very individual. But therefore he also says it's the superstition. So it's not the truth. It's a perceived thought that you're being cheated. Maybe this is just a divine plan for something much better to come.
A lesson to be learned, right? Yes. When the impediment, which is now obstructing the flow of your prosperity, is removed, there will be an onrush of blessings, which nothing can resist. Someone has said, the belief that others are cheating you constitutes a psychic block that inhibits any action of the law of prosperity. There. Right now, you are in the midst of a great reservoir of spiritual substance from which all things are made. It is subject to and responsive to your word. In him we live and move and have our being. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made.
Yeah, and now replace the him with the spiritual substance that you have just been mentioning. And then when you read that again, is in this spiritual substance we live and move and have our being. All things were made by the spiritual substance. And without the spiritual substance was anything that was made.
Yeah. Or universe, or spirit. Yeah.
Yeah.
What make out of the substance? Yes, I'm talking to you. You who are having such a difficult time financially, what kind of measure are you going to hold up to this reservoir of all substance? How much are you going to take away? What kind of demands are you going to make upon it? How big is your mental equivalent? How comprehensive is your consciousness? This reason God loves a prosperous man is because he manifests good in all its manifold expressions. How can you activate the substance and express abundance? How can you bring it into your experience? There is but one way. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man open that door, I will come in to him and will sup with him. Do you hear this? Did you notice that? Did you notice the if?
If, yeah.
Yeah.
If is always a proof of lack of faith. If
this and if I do that and exactly that, Nadine. It's
so
not.
when you go and say, if I have the money, I will do this and this and that. So let's say the physical presence that you don't have the money. So always replace if by when. When I will have the money, I will do this and this and that. And the second part of this agreement then is when you really have the money, then really, really do this.
All right, I'll just read to the end of the paragraph. So, where was it? Do you know how to set the law in motion? You can open the door through your awareness that universe, God, spirit cannot know lack or poverty of any kind. So open your awareness to no lack. You cannot know lack or poverty of any kind. The force that activates substance is the consciousness of the allness of good. If you try to claim the cattle on 1,000 hills from the manifest side of life without title, you are likely to get into trouble with the police. To gain legal possession of them, you must appropriate them from the unmanifested side of life through the realization that we are surrounded by a substance that receives the impress of our word and acts upon it creatively.
Oh, what a wonderful section we had here this week. How blessed are we to read this? Like, I'm really so happy and grateful to be exposed to all this content. I'm so happy and grateful for Thinking into Results, who really brought me into this world, who changed my life for the best, and of all my clients and your clients, I'm sure. Oh, it's so good, you know? If anyone listens here and doesn't know the next step, do it. Join Thinking into Results. Reach out to Jackie and myself. It's the best decision you can make in your life, to just open up to the abundance that is there, to learn how to, that's what Thinking about into Result is about, to learn all the ways you can think, because we think we know how to think, but as Bob was always saying, the problem is people don't even know how to think, and brain activity isn't thinking. So there's many forms and ways to think, and that's what we train, and that's why we have so many wonderful manifestations and continue to have them.
Being stuck, people, reach out. Stop being stuck.
Prosperity is all over and everywhere. Let's take our part.
Let's enjoy it. Exactly. Thank you, Nadine, for a beautiful read and sharing your time
Thank you,
with
Jackie.
And
so have a wonderful day, everyone. Next Friday, same time, same place. See you then.
Bye.
Bye-bye.